All right, man, another day, which means I have more free picks for you. And in today's video, we got to bring it out. We, in our last video, swept pretty easily. You can see this dirty broom right here. Need to get a little sweeping done because we went 3-0 in our last video. Absolute bangers. I told you. We went 1-2 in the video before. I told you we were going to make up for it. We were going to go 2-1 or 3-0, and that's exactly what we did. And that's what I'm going to try to do in this video once again. But before we get into those picks, I want to show you real quick. Over our last 40 bets, we're 28-12, which puts us at a 70% win percentage on free picks, which really is better than anybody else in the game. I don't know anybody else that's giving out free picks and they're winning at 70%. That's just insane. And then in our last 10, we're 7-3. Our last 20, we're 16-4. Pretty crazy, on a really good run right now. And in today's video, I want to keep it going. All I ask for you, if you want more videos just like this and a lot of research done on these plays, is hit that subscribe button. Let's try to get to 50 likes on this video. And if we do that, I'll continue to post these, get you a lot of value so we can keep making money. So let's just go ahead and jump into the first play right here. We're going to head over to Props Madness. And the first pick that I absolutely love is in the Cavs and Celtics game. And it's going to be that guy, Evan Mobley, to go over his rebounds plus assists at this line of 11.5. As you can see, in his last 30 games, he's hit this at a 63% rate. He's hit it 19 out of 30 times in his last 30. And then on the season, he's averaging 12, so he's over this mark on the season. And that's the first reason why it caught my eye. But like all players, I don't just look at one thing. I see something I like, and then I dig into it even more to make sure it makes sense. And to be honest with you, when I first started looking at Evan Mobley, I took a look at his assists, and then I took a look at his rebounds, and I was like, he's hitting both of these marks at over a 50% rate in both of these stat categories, and that's what got me going over here to rebounds plus assists. I started assist, I went and looked who was out in this game, and it looked like Dean Wade, Isaac, and Luke Travers weren't going to play, and when these guys don't play, you see the percentage go up here, and you see the percentage go up on rebounds a ton. So I went over and took a look at rebounds plus assists, and you see right here that he is hitting at an 85.7% rate whenever these guys aren't playing, and that's going to be the case in this game. He averages in those games 14.6 rebounds plus assists, and that's what started to give me a lot of confidence in it. Now, outside of that, when we take off these guys being injured, what I also love to see is that when we go ahead and take a look at head-to-head, he went over this mark in both games that he played the Celtics, 17 the first time and 14 the next time. And obviously, if you're seeing a guy hit his overs against a team previously, it's a really good cue to take his over the next time he plays them. And then what I also love about this is that in this game, the spread is extremely close. It's a 1.5 point spread, so the books expect this game to be close. And why that's a big deal is because he's projected to play 32 minutes. And if the game is close, he's going to get all of those minutes in. And when you take a look at what happens when he plays 29 to 35 minutes, which puts him in the range of what he's supposed to do, you see his hit rate go up even more. And if you just go add these guys back once again that aren't playing, you're going to see he went over 100% with all three of them out, and he played this amount of minutes. When you take one of them off, he's 2 for 3. Take another one off, he's still at 71%. And that right there is just why I like it so much. He's hitting at a super high rate when these guys are out, number one. Number two, when he plays in the minutes that he's projected, he also hits his over a ton. And that right there is simply why I like this so much. To go on top of what he's done head-to-head against them, he's hit it both times. And as long as he gets his minutes in, I don't see any reason why he doesn't hit this over. He's just been too good at hitting it all season. He's been too consistent. So go smash this line. Hopefully it doesn't raise up a ton. I don't think it's going to. Go take it at 11.5. I think you're going to get a lot of value. So that's my first official pick. But real quick, before we move on to my second pick, I did want to show you that if you want to go over here and you want to take assists or rebounds over, I wouldn't hate you for doing that because the same thing goes for both of these stats as well. He hit his overs against the Celtics in rebounds, and he hit his overs against them in assists. He went way over assists, as you can see right here, 6-4 when his line is only 2.5. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you get plus money if you take assists or rebounds. You get plus 100 on rebounds, plus 114 on assists. So if you want some plus money action, you want to get a good value bet in, I don't hate to take his over here either. Just depending on what you want to do. If you go to rebounds plus assists, it's minus 120, so it's not a value bet. I just wanted to add that in there because if you want to take either one of these lines, I don't hate that either, but it's obviously completely up to you. So that's going to be my first pick, and then we move on to my second pick. We're going to stay in this same game, and we're going to take a look at that guy, Jason Tatum, and his points line at 25.5. As you can see right here, he's hitting it in his last 30 games at just a 46.7% rate, which obviously isn't very good, But when you put the whole season into perspective, so let's add all the games that he's played this year, you see that in 48 games, he's hitting it at over a 55% rate, which right there already looks a lot better. On the season, he's averaging 26.9, so he's averaging over this mark. To go along with that, in his head-to-head matchups against the Cavs, he scored 33 in both games, extremely consistent, played really good in both, and just like with Evan Mobley, he's going to get his minutes in because the spread is so small. This game is going to be close, just like it was the first 2 times. The first time, it was a 3-point game. The second time, it was a 4-point game. So he's going to get his minutes, and if you want to take a look at games when he gets his minutes, he's projected 36. So if you want to take a look at what happens when he plays in this average range, so let's move it up to 33. And then let's max it out at around 39. What you're going to see is his hit rate goes up a ton, all the way up to 67.9%. And in this game, he 100% is going to get this many minutes because there is no way that it's going to be a blowout on either side. He already hit against him twice. When he gets to play his projected minutes, he's also hitting this over a ton at 25.5. I love this line. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets bumped up to 26.5. And then my final reason why I like this pick so much is when you scroll down, you're going to see that similar players to the Cavs are hitting it over at a 53% rate, and it's a great matchup because the Cavs are the worst defense in the entire NBA at guarding isolation, and that's where Jason Tatum scores the majority of his points. He scores 21% of his points in isolation, and you see that every time he plays. If you watch the games, you see him ISO a ton and get a lot of points off of it. That makes a lot of sense here, and considering the Cavs aren't very good at guarding that, I love that matchup. And I just simply love the fact also that even though their defense is really good against most positions, they're not the greatest when it comes to small forwards. And I'm going to prove that right here because against small forwards, they allow the 21st most amount of points. And that just tops off everything I already mentioned. A pretty good matchup because of the ISO. They allow the 21st most points to small forwards. And like I said, he's hitting at a super high rate on the season whenever he plays his projected minutes. So go take this over at 25.5. I love it, and I really do think it's going to cash. So there we go. We got 2 official picks that I like a lot. They're both overs, I know, and we're going to keep that trend going because now we're going to head over to the Lakers and Clippers game, and we're going to take a look at that guy LeBron James and his points, and I'm going to be taking the over here as well. As you can see, once again, we're starting off with a pretty low hit rate. In his last 30 games, he's only hit this mark 12 times, which puts him at a 40% hit rate in his last 30, and me and you both know that's not a very good sight to see. But the last time that I told you to take LeBron's over, it was because Anthony Davis was not playing. And as we all know, Anthony Davis just got traded, so he's not going to be in this game once again. And when you take him out of the equation, LeBron James goes over this mark in 80% of games. He's averaging 32.6 in these games, which is obviously well over that mark. And the only game that he did not hit this mark in was against the Wizards, where he had 24 in the middle of the third, and then he got pulled and didn't come back in the game. He only played 27 minutes in this game, which is obviously really low for him. So I expect him, when he gets 30-plus minutes without Anthony Davis, I promise you, he takes over. He takes advantage of what the defense gives him. He knows when he's the main guy on the court, he has to go score the points, and that's why I like this over so much. It cashed big time for us last time. As you can see, he scored 33 against a really good Knicks defense. And even though the Clippers have a good defense as well, and they're not the greatest matchup for LeBron, I just don't think it matters too much. And while, yeah, like I said, their defense is pretty good, when you take a look at what LeBron did to him last time, he scored 25, and that was with AD playing in a loss by 14. So I think he easily goes over without AD. And the Clippers, in general, against small forwards, they allow the 17th most points against them. So a little bit under the middle of the pack there. So while, yeah, their defense is good overall, they're not the greatest at guarding small forwards, and that's another reason why I like this line so much. I think there's a ton of value here. I would lock this in all day long. Obviously, Luka isn't playing either, so it's going to be the LeBron show. If the Lakers want to win this game, they're going to have to put the ball in his hands. And that right there is enough for me to want to take this over. I would take it if I were you. That's my 3 picks. To recap real quick, I'll go ahead and show you. Number 1, Evan Mobley to go over rebounds plus assists at 11.5. Jason Tatum to go over his points at 25.5. And LeBron to go over his points as well at 26.5. I really think this LeBron line should be at 29.5 or maybe even a little bit higher. I love it at 26. I love all of these lines. Super confident in them. Obviously did a ton of research, as you can probably tell. If you appreciate that, all I ask, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll keep putting out videos just like this. And until next time, let's go sweep and let's print some money.